Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's episode 259 of the Audible Farm podcast, and this episode is brought to you by the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association. Go to www.fdfineartsassociation.org to find out more. They have a podcast. It's called FDT. You can find it on our YouTube channel. It's also on their YouTube channel. It's also anywhere you listen to podcasts. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't do the YouTube thing, just go to their website. There's a link down below. You can click the podcast link and just click on whatever you want to listen to it on and just listen to it there. So check it out. They got an episode coming out tomorrow. It's going to be a great one. So be sure to tune in. Okay, we are back. It's me. It's another solo episode. I know what you're thinking. It's unprecedented to do 2 solo episodes in a row on a podcast that's supposed to be guest driven or whatever. But yeah, that's what's happening. So let's cue the music and I'll start talking.
It's the Audible Farm Podcast with your host, Peter Stockdale.
Well, it's the 4th of July weekend. If you're listening to this on the day it comes out, which I hope you are. Of course you are. Thank you. And it's the 4th of July weekend. I know it's a very busy it's a very busy weekend for most musicians. I'm leaving that in there. And yeah, I mean, I tend to usually have a couple gigs booked with somebody somewhere, and that's the case this year as well. I know it's going to be hot. Hopefully you listen to the last episode so you're prepared for all the stuff. Make sure you bring your sunblock. Found a new one that I didn't remember, bug spray. That was one. Okay, so we finally have a show in the shade. Well, guess what? There's a lot of bugs, especially if you play late at night and there's lights on you. So yeah, I learned another new one. So put that one also on the list, bug spray. All right, cool. But yeah, 4th of July weekend, it's tons of fun. There's always good stuff going on. And this is just something really dumb, but I was on social media this week and I saw like there's some people out there that don't know that this is possibly the last weekend with all their fingers or something, but everybody uses their hands for everything. I get it. But as musicians, just be careful out there and make sure you have some fun too. A lot of times at the private gigs, it's really fun because it's like, if it's on the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th or whatever, it kind of falls on one of those kind of days or something, the weekend before or after, depending on where the 4th of July falls. A lot of times it's you play a gig somewhere and there's just fireworks already going off somewhere. Or you take a break and that's when somebody who hired you for a private gig is lighting off fireworks. So a lot of those times it's nice not to have to worry about it. So yeah, make sure you go out, watch some shows this weekend if you're not playing, and if you're playing, go out and enjoy yourself and be prepared. And it's funny because I was thinking about this. I saw that the stats on like the solo episodes are drastically lower than when there's guests, and I get it because guests bring in people, but it's kind of funny because it makes me think like there's a lot of really good information in some of those episodes. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, when I'm sitting here by myself pontificating, I come up with the greatest material ever and everyone needs to listen to it. No. So the gist is like, and I kind of wanted to like go over this, like, I actually like work at a marketing firm. I'm not like a head marketer. I'm not a project coordinator. I do a lot of podcasts there, which is kind of why it's wild to think like the amount of work I do for other people's podcasts compared to this one, as far as like marketing it and trying to get as much information out there as possible. It's wild because I do so much more for everyone else than I do for my own, mostly because by the time I get off work and I come home and I'm doing stuff, I just don't want to sit and do more than the same thing I'm doing when I'm at work. So I kind of try to just do what I can on this podcast, but it's one of those things where like I've noticed what works and what doesn't work. And I guess I've tried to just pass that information along to you guys in some capacity without actually going out and doing all the work for you. But it's kind of funny because I guess I've been just testing some different things, like letting AI do a lot of work for me. And it's sometimes good, sometimes not. I don't know. It's almost like if you've never had pizza before, AI is just like the recipe card. You still have to make it yourself, but it's nice to know. It's like if I've never had pizza, never seen it, someone's like, make a pizza. It'd be a lot of work to go figure out what pizza is and how to make it, and especially without the internet or whatever. I'm just thinking about how AI helps, but I don't know. Yeah, that's just kind of where I was thinking about that. So like for anybody that's listening to this, and I know it's not like a huge number, it's like at most probably 100, depending on, audio plus video plus wherever else you're listening. But thank you guys for this. And hopefully any of the tips and tricks I've mentioned have helped out, or hopefully I've been able to spark some conversation, because I don't know. I just think about these things when I'm on these long drives to and from places and trying to, I don't know. I just think, anybody ever think about this? Or I wonder what other people think about this. And you're just driving along, and, sometimes I'll call people and be like, what do you think about this? Or just shoot them a text or something. But yeah, I don't know. I think these solo episodes are kind of fun. Sometimes they're kind of rambly. Like this one's going to be rambly and short. I can tell you right away, because my notes are very short. Whereas the last week I had very, very nice long notes. So either way, 4th of July, there's lots of gigs out there. If you're listening to this on your way to gigs, or on your way to like a private party, or to go hang out with somebody or whatever, happy 4th of July. So let's cue down to the only other item that's really on my list here. And while I was making some, because I just recently did do this, and it was something I was like, I'm never going to do this, but I have the availability to do it, so I might as well do it. I was making some reels or some TikToks or some whatever short vertical video things, just short form videos for people to swipe around on and look at, of one of the podcasts. And it was one with Bob, and we were talking about, all right, I'd kind of asked him about, has music like exposed you to a lot of things in life, or has it shaped your life? And one of the things he was kind of talking about was like, you meet all these different people, and I never really thought too much about it. And I guess like when I was making the reels, that was something that was like suggested as like content material. And I was like, oh, this sounds kind of neat, and I put it up online, and people kind of took to it depending on the platform. So it really did kind of make me think, like you meet a lot of people, and as you grow, like, your circle of people, grows stronger, and so does, your talent level, etc. So, I don't know. It just made me think about the way music kind of shapes us as people, or it gives us like the ability to look at something in a way that maybe other people don't have available to them. I'm not 100% sure how to describe it. So it made me think about this. Like one of the analogies we gave was in the episode with him. I don't know if it made it to a reel or not, but like you go play music, and it's just like, well, that guy's a banker, and this guy's a mechanic, and that person's in fast food, and this person's a politician, or like whatever it happens to be, because literally that's how it is. So it makes me think like, it's not that people's occupations are going to define them. That's not kind of where I'm going, but like, if you only worked in like one industry, you wouldn't have the availability to see somebody in another industry. And it's not that people only ever work in one industry. I mean, a lot of us have had different jobs throughout our lives. I mean, when I started the podcast, I had a different job compared to, maybe 2 years ago compared to now. It just changes. And I mean, everybody's path changes, but it does make me think like there's a lot of people where like, especially going to jam nights, and it's not just jam nights, but it's like going to other people's shows and seeing who else is there, and maybe you go out with somebody that you're kind of buddies with in a band, and then he's like, hey, I know these people over here, let's go talk to them, and then before you know it, you're like, who are these people? And you start to like learn who other people are. Maybe you haven't even seen them, or maybe people just talk about them and you've heard their names, so when you finally like run into them, you're like, oh, I kind of actually think I might know this person. So there's a lot of that, but I guess it just makes me think like, if you work, I don't know, if you're a car salesman, which there are car salesmen, everybody's a musician, but if you work in car salesman, you're not really going to be able to always interact with, somebody that would be like, I don't know, a lineman, or like, somebody that works for the railroad or whatever. The only option you'd have would be to like, and I don't know, maybe run into them at a church or at a bar, or what else do people do where they socialize? Is that it? The only other option is finding them online and arguing with them over something that's arbitrary, which is what a lot of online stuff is these days. And it's kind of shocking, but, music just gives us this availability to like know people, and it's not that people's occupations define them, but like you can find people of certain ilks that are of certain types. And I mean, it all just melts away when you're playing music. Like, I think of everyone that's in the bands that I'm in. It's like, well, this person works here, this person works here, that person works here, this person, and I do this. And it's like, we're all very, very different people. We've had very different paths in our lives. We, have different hobbies outside of playing music and outside of our jobs. And we have different, some of us have families, some of us don't, some of us, whatever, married, some of us aren't, and sometimes so-and-so can't make it to a show and we just bring in somebody else. And it's so weird how music is this great unifier in a sense where otherwise maybe we wouldn't have even got to like meet some of these people in our lives. That could be other musicians. And it made me think recently, like there's people that have played music at shows. I mean, I've played music at shows in different places and seen the same people at different places. So there are some people who are like maybe fans of going to see live music. And sometimes it's fun to go see somebody they've already seen before, or maybe they're fans and they like to travel because traveling is fun to them. And it's not like we're traveling, all the way across the US, but like maybe they want to go to a bar and they want to see live music and they know somebody that's playing at a bar they've never been to 2 towns over. And now they're like, well, maybe we'll just go 2 towns over, grab a bite to eat, have a drink, and then head home. It's not like they got to stay for the whole show or whatever, but it's really kind of cool. So like I've noticed lately going to play shows that I've run into a lot of people that it's like, wait a second, I saw this guy over there, or like I know this person from, whatever. And I've run into some people recently where it's like, man, I haven't thought about this person or talked to them in years, and it's like I had this small interaction with them playing music somehow or another, and even still, like that's kind of why I created the podcast, was a way to get everyone to kind of know who everyone was. Is if you listen to, maybe every episode, not that everyone would, but that's kind of how I intake my podcast. It's kind of like the music. I never skipped through songs on albums. I just listened to the whole album because the album is the story. So I don't know. But yeah, it just makes me think about, I've probably run into some of these people just playing music, or I've probably run into some of them in an ancillary way where I might not have even ever met them. I might have like interviewed somebody they were in a band with, and then maybe just through virtue of that been online and maybe befriended them because like they're bandmates with this person. And maybe I've never even seen their band live. That could also be another thing where I could have, interviewed somebody from across the state that I know, that I've seen clips of online, or that bands I know have played with and they're cool and I've listened to their music, and you talk to them and then you realize like, oh, I've never actually seen this band, after a couple of years, but I'm friends with like everyone that's in the band. I'm friend with like ex-bandmates and like some of their like, oh, I'm friends with the roommate of some guy that played guitar for this band that's no longer even, and it's like, this is crazy. So yeah, music does kind of, it's this weird unifier. And I think it's pretty funny too, because like in the age of social media, there's a lot of polarization, which like can be good or bad in this unifying sense, where like the echo chamber of social media is very much so where it's like, here's all the stuff you agree with, and here's all the stuff that disagrees with everything you're saying, but it's probably presented in a fashion that reinforces how you feel about whatever you enjoy. So like, if it's thing A versus thing B and I'm on the side of thing A, it shows me a bunch of cool things about thing A, and then it shows me a bunch of stuff about thing B that is going to probably make me mad and just reinforce that I like thing A, which is kind of funny because you can kind of figure out who people are. And sometimes you're just like, I don't know about some of these people or whatever, and it kind of just makes it so like maybe you don't want to interact with them as much, or maybe you just, snooze them for 30 days on social media, or maybe just like unfollow them so you don't have to see their stuff anymore or whatever. But it's kind of weird because music's no different. Like everyone can be a musician, or everyone that is a musician. They're different people. They're from all over the place. They're from all different walks of life. They all like different music. They all probably have a different lifestyle depending on who they are and what's going on. And I think it's pretty funny because there are obvious times where like people have very differing like social or political stances depending on what's going on, and they're very, very outspoken about it online, and almost to a detrimental fashion. Like I've seen some people be like, basically like, if you are on this person's side, don't talk to me anymore. But then, and that's what they say online, but then they're in a band with somebody that's on, whatever, side B. And it's like, why would you create these situations where you'd want to be so polarizing? But in the end, it's fun that music, maybe it's romantic to me that like music is so unifying that it will like basically cause people to be like, yeah, as long as we're playing music, it doesn't matter. We're not up there. I don't know, as bands, most of the bands I know and most of the bands I've been in aren't up there to make a political statement of any sort. And the only one that would be close would probably be like, I don't know, Three Finger Betty does have some political songs, but we poke fun at both ends. And, I don't know, that's kind of the only reason I'm like kind of still okay with everything there. Cause it's like, nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. Like, guess what? I maybe we disagree with everybody, and it's kind of that whole, like, they live, we sleep. It's like, you guys are all like in this machine together and I'm the only one with the glasses on or whatever, if you've never seen They Live, definitely worth checking it out. I watched that movie way later than I ever should have. But very good movie for what it is. It's very, very good. So, but yeah, it's fun that like, even though people can be polarizing, like even in like a personality way or on, online or whatever it is, that it's fun to know that, like, especially even at jam nights, it's such a crapshoot. It's like, well, these people might not even know each other, and they're going to get up there and play music together. Like there's people that, I've played music. I, admitted it on the Bob Johnson podcast that like I've played music with people that I probably didn't really enjoy that much. And you just power through it and you're just a professional because I'm out there to play music. I'm not out there to like judge anyone. It's kind of just like if you need your car fixed, and there's one guy in town that does it and you disagree with him over like whether Coca-Cola or Pepsi is better, why would you just be like, well, he likes Pepsi, so he's not going to fix my car. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe my stance on this is way too lenient for some people, but it is kind of weird because I just noticed that like online, there's been a lot of separation. I mean, it's obviously that like, that's what it does, but like, that's the opposite of what this podcast is supposed to be. That's the opposite of what music is. That's the opposite of like the point of why everybody's doing this. We're doing this to everybody get together and just forget about all this stuff that upsets us, either on a day-to-day basis, stuff that quite possibly we have no control over, and even if we did have like some semblance of input into the situation, like we still have zero control over, and I think about that a lot, in my life, because I've changed a lot over time. This Bob Johnson podcast I did really made me kind of think about this stuff. And maybe it was just come from editing the reels and rewatching it again. But yeah, I don't know. It just kind of makes me think about like how I've changed over time. And I don't know. I'm just too internalized on this one. It's kind of a weird thought process. And I didn't know the best way to bring it out. But it is weird that like, I don't know, music just brings everyone together, and I don't know why. It's funny because I know people that play music they don't even like just because they like playing music, and these are the people they can play music with, I don't know, heck, that's how I kind of got started playing I went to jam nights. It's not like I love playing, XYZ music, but I'm going to do it. I was predominantly somebody that played a lot, of heavier music, but like you can't really jam a Megadeth song. There's people out there that are like, oh yeah, watch me. But still, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say I like sold out or other people sell out when it comes to playing music, because that's not the way it is. It's the thing that brings people together. I don't know. It's a community, and there are communities around, and it just makes me wonder, like, what are the other communities I'm forgetting? Because I'm obviously forgetting some, because I basically just came up with the church and a bar. There's the two communities other than just playing music. But like, it makes me think I just play a lot at bars, and I don't go to bars, but I play a lot of music at bars. So that's kind of, I guess, I don't know. That was just kind of what my thought process was on that. But what are the communities? I'm forgetting some. So you got to like light me up in the comments. Just be like, yeah, duh. Like, fishing, or like there's got to be something out there, the car guys. There's probably like the car guy. You go to the shows, I'm sure that's a thing. Oh yeah, pro wrestling community, like that was a thing for sure. I went to a lot of pro wrestling shows because I was doing a lot of that. Not as much anymore, but it's still fun to go see the shows. Yeah, there was a big community in that. So yeah, there are other communities out there, but I'm not sure. Like, again, it's not like these communities can be pigeonholed into certain types of people, because everybody fits in everywhere nowadays. There's enough information out there where everybody can kind of go get a hobby and enjoy whatever they want, regardless of their stance on anything or their feelings on literally anything else. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of lost my mojo with that one. I ran out of stuff to talk about. I told you this episode's going to be short, but let's see here. I don't really have too much else to talk about, honestly. What is this, 15 minutes in? What are we doing here? I don't even know why I did an episode this week. Oh, yeah, that's right. So I've been playing not a lot of shows, but enough shows, and I've scheduled enough things to do on a daily basis, not necessarily for this podcast. And that's what the unfortunate thing of why I'm doing a second solo episode. I know the solo episodes aren't as good, and this one especially, of all the solo episodes, has not been the greatest because I've just been too busy. I've been spending a little bit of extra time at work trying to just see what else I can do or how I can change things to make it more efficient as things get busier, if that makes any sense. And it's not always the easiest thing ever to kind of reinvent the wheel when you're comfortable with the wheel that you already have. So I'm trying to find ways to do stuff, hence using some sort of AI stuff for my podcast every now and then, where I've been just like, what, just make me a post and I'll just schedule it and we'll see what happens, and it sometimes comes up with okay stuff, but it's not, I don't know. A lot of times, like, the caption it comes up with is just like, oof, I don't know about this. Like, but I don't know. It's not the best tool ever. What would your explanation be of something with no context and only a 60-second clip, I guess? I don't know. So it does the best it can. I do have another screen over there. Anybody here ever seen Conan O'Brien? I mean, like, Conan used to sit down and he'd talk to, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, quote unquote. It was like he would have the, like, just the mouth would move, like, almost not like the Canadians on South Park, but like just the mouth. They would like green screen the mouth in there, and so like it would just be like either him or whatever, Al Sharpton, I think, was another guy that was on there sometimes. But yeah, and like that's kind of what I'm gonna do, I think, for having remote guests. And I do have a couple people I've reached out to. And that's the other bad thing, is I've been really bad about communicating, which is hilarious because it was something I preached in a previous episode, was kind of communicating with the people you want to reach out to in the community. So I don't know. I just have to like reach out to these people and actually set this stuff up and schedule it. It's not always easy when you have 2 free nights a week or 3 free nights a week, and you work all day, and then you have other stuff you're working on at night, and then you got to play music and you get to play music. And yeah, I don't know. It's just tough when your schedule starts to fill up to just be like, yeah, why not just fill up every day and then have no free time? And so, yeah, that was kind of what the burnout on the original podcast was. And it's not that I'm feeling it right now. It's just that I'm very, very busy with a lot of other stuff. So I'm kind of trying my best to just balance everything out while staying afloat. I didn't think we had enough episodes recorded to do like a replay of an episode, so I didn't want to do that. And I didn't have the energy to sit down and edit a best of episode, so I did not. And that's kind of where we're at with this episode. And I think I might just actually end this episode because I don't have a whole lot more to say. For those not watching, I am wearing my Riddled with Class shirt, which is one of my favorite shirts of all time. And I do have a new Jesse Wilson hat. You can see the stickers still on it. I need to take that off before I go somewhere. But yeah, Jesse Wilson's got some hats in. So if you're looking for hats, catch him this weekend. I believe he's at, the day this comes out, I think he's at Oh Goodies. Maybe a couple private shows. Tomorrow is the episode of FDT. It comes out actually on the 4th of July. Born on the 4th of July. Isn't that a movie? I don't know. But yeah, that's going to be a really fun episode. I had a blast recording that one. It's so fun. I don't know. Like, it's fun being involved in podcasts and not being the one that's explicitly in control of anything. Like, for example, that podcast, Shelley Bodorf, the president of the, what is it? Executive president, something, of the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association. She runs the thing basically with a board over top of her telling her what to do, or however that works. But yeah, she's the one who actually like sets all this up. She sets up the guests, she sets up the questions, she sets up the location. I show up and record, and I add stuff in, and it's really kind of fun. So yeah, that episode's going to be really great. I don't want to give away too much on it, but again, hopefully I got the TV. I can see it's right there. I just need to like set it up right here and then just pan out a little bit. I do need to change the backdrop here. There's so much stuff to do here that I just need to do. And that is probably I would say that's probably the only unfortunate thing about playing music in the summertime with like cover bands that are actively gigging is, I mean, this is probably the least busy I've been in a couple years, but like there were times there where it's like, okay, I'm playing 4 shows a week, and then I got to work all day. And so that gives me 3 nights that I have free, but if I have to do a rehearsal or if I'm going to a jam, so then there's only 2. And like you start just like whittling away all your free time, and it's not really like the free time that I want. It's the time that I want, need to, I don't want to do my laundry, just do all the stuff, do all the daily things that I just like. By the time I get home at 2 a.m. from a show, and then I have to wake up the next day and within like 2 hours leave to go to the next show, like that 2 hours is just like, I'm going to drink a cup of coffee and sit outside for a second before it gets too hot, and just enjoy myself, which is something I've found myself doing a little bit more of as I've aged. I think when I started this podcast, I never would have said something like that, but now here I am just like, let's relax a little bit here. And I think some of that just comes down to enjoying your free time. So hopefully everybody out there is rested up and ready for, the busy summer to keep going. Cause I know that this is kind of the peak point is right around here in July where a lot of things are going on. So, like I had mentioned, I'm wearing the Jesse Wilson hat. He's got gigs booked all over the state, all over the place, maybe even a couple out of state. So be sure to check him out somewhere. I play a lot of shows with him, and, I actually was like going to bug him and bring him on this episode, but, I don't know. I was supposed to bring a guitar in to get it fixed at Riemann Music in Fort Dodge recently, because I was just like, hey, will you repair this for me? Because I don't want to do it. Yeah, sure. And then I've just been so busy that I work later than I'm going to be able to get over there most days. And so I feel bad about that. I didn't even call him the one day. And then the one day I did call him, and I don't know. There's just like a lot of that stuff where it's like I'm dropping the ball on certain things, and I just need to batten down the hatches and just try to keep on keeping on. So, I don't know. We're close to like 25 minutes. Let's kick it over into the outro, and I'll just end this thing with at least a little bit of my dignity intact. Oh, baby. There we go. Okay. So episode 259, it's done. It was, I don't know, quite possibly, if you made it this far, congratulations. You listened to the worst episode of podcasting ever in the history of podcasting, quite possibly. This was the most rambly I've been in a long time. I had 4 talking points written down and no context for any of them, whereas the week prior I had like 15 talking points with context for every single one of them. With Bob Johnson I had like 20. So I don't know. I've maybe... Back in the day, I never used to take notes, but now I'm taking notes and I'm kind of relying on it because I need the notes because I'm so busy doing other stuff. But if you made it this far, congratulations. Holy cow. I don't know. Go to audiblefarm.com and click on the shop and buy a hat or something. I don't know. The hats aren't in the shop, but buy something. I don't know. Congratulations. Thank you. I don't know what else to say. Be sure to check out the episode of FDT tomorrow. I've talked about it. This is the 3rd time I've talked about it, but thank you to them for helping us out on the podcast here. Each and every week, I'm helping them out with their podcast, and I really appreciate everything they're doing for me. So thank you very much to the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association. And check out their website. It's down below. There's Audible Farm links down below. That's it. I don't know. I don't even think we made a half an hour this week. Sorry, everybody, but hey, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, I will get all my stuff together and actually have a guest next week. I apologize for no guest, but thanks for listening. Peace.